So we're doing silk enough on the entire length. And how I got these braids, they're just using the Marcel curler, the Le Marcel from Amika, the 1-inch version. And I did curls away from the face, about 3 or 4 of them, depending on the density of the hair. Okay. We're gonna take our detangling brush, not grooming. So the difference between the detangling and the grooming. So this is your detangling, this is your grooming. I want to use this one because I want to break into those waves. I would use this one at the end so that the brush can glide over the waves. But because I need to get inside the waves, you want to use a detangling brush that has wider spread teeth and bristles than the grooming brush that has closer set bristles, okay? We're just brushing through these waves. Just want to make sure I don't have any kinks in there. We are going to add texture to it, but I love, even though I'm going to add texture to it and like make it fluffy and big, I love to start off with like a smoother canvas, just so that it's more controlled with the texture, and I'm not just like randomly making the hair big. I want to make sure I have a clean canvas and I can dictate where my texture is going to go. Okay, now we're going to go in with some Vandal. This is our Vandal volume powder. I'm going to pump this right into the top right here, this top, and right into this height of the wave. When I say the height, we're looking at the wave here, it dips, and then height, dip, height. So we want the product right at the height, not here, but here. So we want it right here, right at this height, and right at this height, okay? The reason why I don't want to spray it all over is because I don't want this entire thing to be big. I'm trying to exaggerate her wave. So if I also put it here, this is also gonna get super big. I just kind of want to be able to stretch these parts out to make the wave look just even more exaggerated. So I'm gonna just lift her hair up like this. And I'm gonna just puff the product into the front of her hair. Now I haven't even rubbed it in, but you could already see that volume. We're gonna do the same thing in here. I like to go under the height, right? Again, right here, under the height. A little on top. And then we're gonna just rub that in. I'm just using my thumb. I'm just rubbing that in. And I'm gonna come right here, and I wanna be able to just pinch that wave to just kind of get that effect like that, okay? Pinch. All right, so now we have our wave exaggerated. Now we're ready to put it into the rest of the braid. So let me rotate it.
A quick question from Tamika. Is there a certain length of hair that you would not attempt this style on?
I wouldn't attempt this on hair that is shorter than shoulder length. And even at shoulder length, there are going to be a lot of little spiky pieces coming out. So you want to, during your consultation, mention that to the client that you can get this look, but just keep in mind that there are going to be like a lot of little pieces popping out of the braid. That can work if they want something that has a lot of texture. So I like to kind of use that to play up the whole texture aspect when I'm doing this braid on someone with shorter hair. Just kind of pull out even more pieces and add texture powder and then texture spray. So it's more of a look than it is your braid is coming apart. All right, so pull this apart. Now we're going to add this wave into this braid over here. I think It's probably will be easy for me to come on this side. Yeah, there we go. Can you guys see this right here? Yeah. Can you see that, Jamie? This?
Yeah, that looks good. We can't see like the ends of the hair, but I think you're
Okay.
gonna be like back combing it in place, so it should be good.
Yeah, now I want you to be able to see more closely here to see how I'm pinning it.
Yep, that's perfect.
Okay, perfect. All right, so we want to put this wave up. So let's look at the wave from the front. Let's actually pin this front piece back a bit, just so we can let that kind of set in place. We're using a little pin curl clip, maybe just one more. Okay, so I put 2 pin curl clips right in the front here, just so I can set out of her face. And we're going to put this wave up into the braid. So let's count. What I love to do is count the height of the wave to help me figure out what part of the hair I'm putting up. So we went through the trouble of making this wave look pretty. It's gonna kind of be the showpiece of the left side of her face. Like the braid is the showpiece on the right side. So she has this beautiful like glam wave in the front. So we don't want to put it up in a way where it takes that away. You know, where you did all this work and then you put this back or you tuck it up and you just don't really see it anymore. So my technique for that is, if the hair is longer than shoulder length, you can use this technique. It's to count the height of the wave. So I count 1, 2, and I put the rest of the hair up, okay? So if you're looking at her from the front, it's 1 wave, 2 wave, and then this is what I put up. So it's like just like an easy marker to help you kind of figure out how to do this like side braid updo without getting rid of like your kind of showpiece in the front here. All right, so let's put this braid down. We're going to use 2 large bobby pins. This is 2 large bobby pins. I'm going to pin the braid down using these pins, and I'm going to cross pin them. So that's what's going to happen. When I push the braid down to the side of her head, I'm going to go in and cross these 2 pins at the base of her head, just to make sure that it's staying in place. All right. So I'm going to take these 2 pin curl clips out. I'm going to come and I'm going to just push. See how I take this braid here? It's kind of hanging down. I take it and I push it back into a spot where you can pin it onto the hair. Because if we just pinned it onto whatever is happening under it, that's her face. So that's not going to work. So we want to push it back, which is fine. It gives us a little height back here, which is great. And we're going to pin onto this portion of her head. Okay. 1 pin goes in. The next one, and these are long 2-inch bobbies. The other goes in. So how I'm pinning, I'm taking my bobby pin, I'm coming behind the section, and then I'm sliding the pin in. Because I'm trying to avoid any pin showing at all. You want to come behind, and it's going to give you that same sturdy result, okay? I'm going to take this section of hair here, and now we're going to put this up. So remember how we counted our 1 wave, 2 wave? What you're going to do with the rest of the hair here is you're going to kind of like accordion it into place, okay? Let's make sure it's still nice and fluffy. The bottom section here. So you start at the bottom. I don't know if you can see the bottom of her hair, but you start at the bottom, and I'm just pushing into the wave itself, and I'm just going to sit it right onto the braid. Let me move back a bit. I don't know if you're seeing that. Okay. The ends of the hair, push in like an accordion and sitting it right on top of this braid. I'm gonna use long French hairpins. These are 3-inch French hairpins. I love to use this when I'm doing updos because it can really weave and glide into the hair because they're not so short. So let's do that. Push in your bobby. I'm gonna come onto the braided side here. I'm gonna close my pin and I'm just going to weave it until I get to where my thumb is. Weave, weave, weave to secure that. I'm gonna do that one more time. At the top here. See, I'm just holding it with my thumb here. Make sure we're covering any gaps that we have. Okay, perfect. Thumb, I'm gonna come in the back here. Weave, weave, weave until you feel your thumb. You need to get this bobby pin or hairpin rather to your thumb because that's what's holding the hair you want to hold up. Weave, weave, weave to my thumb and good. All right, the reason why we're weaving is because we want to make sure this pin doesn't come out. When you do like an updo braid like this, it's important to make sure that it stays because that's the only thing holding it up, these bobby pins. So if it comes unraveled, then your braid starts to unravel. So we are weaving it because it's much harder for a pin to come out of this than it is that. Okay, so if you just slid it in, it can just slide right out. But if you wove it in, it's very unlikely that it's gonna go through all of that to come out. Okay, so we're gonna look at it. Maybe I'll do one more coming in from this direction. Okay, I always go behind, like I'm trying to pin this. Remember that tail of the wave? Kind of pin this, but I always come in from the back. Like I take my pin, push it through the back, and then weave it in. You never want to pin directly onto where you're actually trying to pin because that's when pins show. Okay, so now we're gonna go in and do our texture. Before I put this little tail away, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I love to finish with my texture first and then see if this is working. If it does, I leave it. If it doesn't, then we can just easily tuck it in. Okay, so let's come over here. I'm going to just start to, I was gonna put the powder, but because we're gonna show you more braids, I won't do more vandal on her. I'll just start with the spreading. So you wanna come and you want to grab the braid at the side. So you see how there's like a loop coming down the middle? So I just love to leave this middle loop alone, but I love to grab like the two sides and just rub them between my fingers. So this is what you're doing. Just rubbing them between your fingers. I'm not pulling out. We're not doing that. We're just rubbing. And in that rubbing process, you're getting texture and you're kind of fluffing out the braid even more. Okay. Just work your way around. Again, we're just rubbing. And you see in the rubbing, I'm getting these little flyaways, which is exactly what I wanted. I love doing this on bridal like clients or like bridesmaids because it's like so easy. You can get it done so quick. And you gave them an updo in like 15 minutes for the same price. And it has the same impact. It looks just as beautiful. The next thing we want to do is we want to add some texture in here, all right? So I just go in with my fingers and I rub. okay? Go in with your fingers and rub. You see how my fingers are just grabbing some hair between them? That's what you want. You wanna just go in, grab some hair between your fingers and rub. We're going from this to more of this action, okay? Grab between your fingers and rub. Because this look, there is no volume at the top. The action is all happening at the sides and the back, okay? Again, right here. And to really get even more texture, let's say your client has like fine hair and you're not getting this to happen, you can puff in some of the Vandal volume powder into this area, or even some undone texture spray if you didn't want anything that gritty, right into this area and do that same technique to get all of that texture. I'm gonna come here as well to finish adding all of my texture. Just wanna make sure it matches. And now with this piece, I'm looking at it, I think I wanna tuck it away. So I'm gonna take a small hairpin, right? You wanna just push it in the direction that it would naturally go. I see it is going back like this, right? See this tail here? I wanna follow the natural rotation of this curl. I wouldn't take this and push it this way because it's trying to curl. I don't know if you can see that. I wanna pop her off this stand so you can see. This curl here, like the curl is going this way, right? We don't want to take it and pin it back this way because that's when you look at an updo and you could see that a piece of hair was just placed there. You want to continue following the rotation of the curl. So I would just continue rotating it that way and then take my small hairpin, push it behind this piece, and then secure that little tail there. Again, weave, 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 so it doesn't come out, and push that in. Always go in and kind of pinch closed any section that I put a pin in, just so that you can't really tell that you just pushed a pin in there. You can go and add some texture around the neighboring pieces. And there you guys have it. All right, your textured loop braid updo. So easy. You guys think you can recreate this in the salon or for a bridal client? I'm gonna take out her pins in the front.
Yes, we'd love to hear any questions you guys have before Naima moves on from this look.
All right. So before I take her down, let me know if you have any questions before we move on to the next. Thanks, Cassie.
Mm-hmm.
All right, looks good. All right, so I'm gonna just take her down. Left side, I was getting a little hung up on the pull through. Yeah, it's easier than, that's why I would like to repeat it over and over, because the pull through is, it gets easier the more you practice, you know? Thank you guys. Does it make sense that can you read that for me, Jamie? I don't see the question.
Does it make sense that I ran out of hair because it's only shoulder length, or did I mess up? That's from Shannon.
That you ran out of hair to grab? You probably were taking sections that are too big, because you shouldn't run out of hair at all, because you're just taking the hair that's directly above where you're working. So you shouldn't be running out of hair. It should, yeah. It should, like, the piece can be short once you get to the end. It'll be like not as long as what I have. You know how I had the ability to like loop it through like 2 more times. For shoulder length hair, you won't get that. It'll just like stop right there, but you should always have that to grab.
Shannon, let us know if that makes sense. Celeste says she loves it. Can use this on clients. That's exactly what we want to hear. From another Jamie Paul. If someone wanted that look as a braid, but the front is too loose, is there a different finish for the front?
Yes, you can tighten the front. So you can push it back. You know how some clients love like a snatched front, where it's just pulled back a little bit tighter like this. The other side, that'll be kind of weird. This braid is meant for like a side chignon, and with a side chignon kind of look, you need some kind of fringe action happening. It doesn't necessarily have to be like a full like dramatic wave like this, but some pieces hanging so that there's something to blend with the end of the braid is definitely what you have to have.
Perfect. And then Caroline, we just got a question, or maybe this is for Olivia, in the Q&A regarding the recording, and just to make sure that this would be shared out. If you guys can just confirm that, be perfect.
Yeah, we can email it.
Perfect. Thank you so much. All right. Well, while Naima's getting set up for her next look, do we have any Amika product questions, brand questions? Oh, we have one more question about the look too, from Danielle.
Sure.
Can you continue the braid to where it's a crown around the head?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, that would be really pretty.
You can totally do that.
Awesome.
I would start it though, if you're gonna do that, instead of starting it right above the ear, I would start it more behind the ear, so you get like a full seamless crown effect for the front, and there's no like breaking point. The breaking point would come behind the ear instead of like so to the front.
Awesome. That answered the question.
Perfect.
Yeah, so any Amika product questions, any brand questions, technical questions from the previous look? Naima, I know you have a couple product favorites for braiding. So you use Silken Up already and Vandal.
Yeah.
I'm guessing you're gonna do something edgy next?
So the next braid I'm gonna show is the Cobra braid.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like your go-tos for braiding backstage are Hot Mess Texture Gloss, The Heist, Vandal, Silken Up, of course, Fluxus or Headstrong Hairspray.
Yeah, it really depends on the look that you're going for.
Mm-hmm.
For more like special event, bridal looks, it usually tends to be something that has a little bit of texture to it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a little more loose and like ethereal.
Soft. Yeah.
And soft. So it's mainly the Silken Up, the Undone that I'm using for that. Maybe I'll put in some of the Blockade just for a little bit of glide through, but for these kind of like more updo braids, I try to keep it to like the drier products.
Awesome. Well, we got no product questions rolling in. So whenever you're ready, we can pop into the next look.
Okay, perfect. So let's see how we can do this one here. Okay. So we're going to be doing the Cobra braid. I love this braid because it looks super intricate. It's kind of like an attention grabber. If you have this braid, people always are going to ask, like, what braid is that? You know, you'll always get like some compliments about the braid. So if you have a client that wants a braided look and she's like, I want something different, the Cobra braid is a really cool one to do. I would say keep in mind that the Cobra braid is more edgy. So if your client is more like the soft, ethereal, updo braid kind of girl, I would more so go for the braid that we just did than the Cobra braid. The Cobra braid is more like for an edgy updo. So maybe like a prom, like a younger client would probably want that more. This is a great prom look. Okay, so let's brush through. Again, this one is gonna do, we're gonna bring this one to the side. You can do this as a ponytail. You can do this anyway. So you can do a ponytail version of it, which is really pretty and really edgy. You can do it like a low ponytail to the side, a high ponytail on top, or like I said, like we're doing right now, a side chignon. I'm showing you in the side chignon version because I think this one is the most applicable to clients and weddings and special events. So I want to make sure that you guys have stuff that you can, you know, really put to use when you're behind the chair. Okay, so we're going to bring this all together. All right, so I want to note how, see how I brought it together, but when I grabbed this part that was waved here, I kind of went back in and fluffed it out a little bit, just so that it's not super tight in my braid. I want to give it a little bit of give so that we still get that drama in the front. We don't want to pull it all the way tight and we lose that. Okay, leave that. You can also completely leave this wave out, which you'll really more understand what I'm saying later when the braid is done, and then kind of like loop it into the braid itself. But I kind of more like this version where it's all braided. I feel like it looks a little bit more cohesive that way, but some clients may want just a little touch of more hair happening. All right, so we have our hair to the side. Okay, you're gonna hold it all with one hand. I'm gonna try to bring this closer. Do we see good, Jamie? Jamie, do you see well?
Yeah, I see that. I see
Okay.
the top of the, like the base of the pony.
Okay, right here, good, okay. All right, so we're gonna take this, we're going to split it into 3 sections. You want a side section, a middle section, and another side section. You want 3 sections. But as you're grabbing these 3 sections and you're figuring them out, you want to keep the hair all to this side while you're doing this. You don't want to figure out this 3 sections back here and then swing it over. Okay, you're gonna get some like lumps and bumps. You wanna make sure it's pulled to the side first, and then you're taking your sections. Okay, so what are we thinking about when we're grabbing these sections? I'm feeling for density. I wanna feel that the sections are as equal in density as each other. So the only one that is different is the middle. So the middle is skinnier than the 2 side. So we have this one side here. Feels a little thick. You should definitely take a few minutes to kind of feel out the density. One side here. Okay, so I'm grabbing it here to feel for the density. Grab the middle to make sure it's thinner in density, and feel for the other side. All right, I feel like that. Maybe I'll grab a little bit more from the middle. Okay, now, yeah, now that feels a little bit better. So again, these 2, let me show you. These 2, this one and this one, those should feel equal in density. So as you grab them, you can kind of feel like, okay, they kind of feel the same. And this one should feel thinner. This one can be thinner because we're never going to be taking from this middle piece. This one stays stationary. We don't touch it. We just go around it. So it can stay thin. It won't get any thinner. It's going to stay just as it is. Okay? So let's get started on the braid. All right. So we have our 3 pieces. Oops. 3 pieces. Right? What you want to do is want to make sure that you are holding all three at the same time. So kind of look at your hands. How I'm holding it is palms towards me, and I'm able to grab the hair between my fingers like this. That's how you'll easily be able to make this braid work, okay? So you want to be able to grab them between your fingers. Okay, you might have to work on the dexterity of this braid a bit, but once you get the pattern down, it's like so easy to get it done. All right, so let's get rolling on the braid. Again, this is the Cobra braid. So I'm holding all three sections at the same time. What you're going to be doing is you're going to be grabbing a small piece from the back of this. You're going to bring it around. It's going to go under this and combine with this. A small piece from the back. It's my baby. We're going to see how I'm taking a small piece from the back with my finger. I swing it around to the front. These free fingers right here are going to come to grab it. We're going to bring it under the middle, combine it with the left. Let's look at that again. Three pieces. Okay. Taking a small piece from the back of the right. Two fingers to grab this. You're going to take it under the middle, combine it with the left. So you did your first stitch. Now you're going to take from the inner front corner of the left, swing it back. When I swing this first piece back, I always want to make sure, again, we're not, pulling in this wave too much. Swing it under. It's going to go over the middle and marry it, meaning combine it to the right. Okay? So in case that beginning was confusing for you, I'm going to show it to you again. Let's look at that one more time. We have our three pieces. Okay, three pieces. This is the finger that I'm using to grab a section of hair. I'm bringing it around to the front, grabbing it with this finger here. It's going to go under the middle, combine it with the left. Now we're going to go the front inner corner of the left. See how we grab it with our thumb, swing it back, and now these two fingers are going to be there to support that and grab that for you. Remember what I said, if you have this loose hair here, you want to make sure that it's not being pulled too tight. Gonna go over the middle, marry it to the right. Now again, back of the right. So what do we do when we're back there? We're back there. We're grabbing the traveling piece and a bit of new hair, okay? Again, two pieces here to grab it. Under the middle, combine it with the left. Front inner corner of the left. The reason why you're doing the front inner corner instead of just the top is because you need this wrapping around effect that's happening here. We need that to happen. If we just took the hair from the front and brought it to the back, we wouldn't get that, okay? Over the middle, marry it to the right. Now, as we're doing the braid, we want to make sure that our fingers stay under these sections here. That's what helps you really see clearly that the braid is coming together. If you're holding it down here, it's going to be so unraveled and you're going to think that you're not doing it, but you are. It's definitely similar to a figure 8 braid, yes. But it's like loose. Under, so back of the right. Swing it around to the front. Under the middle, marry it to the left. Front inner corner of the left. Swing it back. And you see how I'm always right there ready to grab? Over the middle, marry it to the right. Back of the right. Yeah.
A quick question while you're going through this. How is this like the figure 8 braid?
Just looking at it. Like once, I guess she knows this braid, but once it's done, the shape of it looks like a figure 8 braid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not necessarily how you do it. It's just the shape.
Not the same braid, but a similar approach, I guess.
Yeah, because you're figure 8ing the traveling piece around the hair.
Yeah.
But the technique used to do that is different than how you would for the figure 8 braid. But it is a figure 8 pattern that's happening.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, so under the middle, marry it to the left. Grab a front inner corner of the left. Swing it back. And under, over the middle, marry it to the right. And we're seeing the pattern come together. Okay. Back of the right, towards the front, under the middle, combine it with the left. Front inner corner of the left. So remember, you're always grabbing the traveling piece and a new piece of hair. The traveling piece because you need to keep the pattern going, and the new piece of hair is because that's what's going to keep the braid stationary. Because you have the traveling and then you have the new. Because the traveling is grabbing onto the new, the braid is going to stay. Under, swing it over to the back, over the middle, marry it to the right. Back of the right. Again, it's a new piece. It's the traveling piece and the new piece. Over to the front, under the middle, marry it to the left. Front of the left, swing it to the back. Over the middle, marry it to the right. Back of the right, swing it to the front. Under the middle, marry it to the left. Front of the left, swing it to the back. Over the middle, marry it to the right. Back of the right, swing it to the front. Under the middle, marry it to the left. And you see the entire time, I'm always making sure that my fingers are staying under these pieces here, because like I said, that's what's going to help to make sure that the braid is not unraveling. Grab, swing it to the back, over the middle, marry it to the right. Grab from the back of the right, swing it to the front. Under the middle, marry it to the left. I think this is the last one that we can do. Swing it to the back, over the middle, marry it to the right. So once I get to this point where it's not really possible to do anymore, I take these 3 pieces and I turn them into standard 3-strand braid, okay? So right here, you just 3-strand braid it, okay? Three-strand braid. This part, you're not gonna see. We're just doing this just to make sure that the braid stays together. Okay, I'm gonna stop right there. We can leave like this little curly tail out. That's fine. We're gonna go in and secure it with a mini rubber band. You can use clear or whatever. You shouldn't be able to see it, so it doesn't really matter what color it is. Just needs to be secure. Okay. So at this point, what I want to do is go in and just add some texture to it. So I'm just going to go in. I'm just going to rub it with my fingers and just kind of spread it open like this. Spread with my fingers. Don't want to be too aggressive because we want to make sure that it doesn't unravel, but we do want that texture because we want to make sure that the texture that's happening up here matches the texture happening down here. That's when a braid or an updo looks really cool and modern, when it's like cohesive. If you do like smooth at the top and then the braid is super textury, sometimes that doesn't really translate that well. So it's really nice to make sure that the texture that's happening is cohesive. If you're gonna do smooth up here, make the braid smooth. If you're gonna do texture up here, make the braid textury, okay? So now we're done with that. Now we're going to pin the braid in place. So at this point, it's kind of like to your liking. You just also have to kind of play with it and see where it sits best. So I love to take it, bend it, and be like, oh, okay, this looks good, or this looks good, or under. I feel like under you don't really see it, or you can push it in. So we have this option. We have this option. I think I like this option the most because I feel like you can really see what's happening here. So let's do that. Let's push this in, right? We're gonna take the tail of the hair here, bring it back and under. Push this in. You see when we push in, we get a little like fluffiness at the back. There's some drama happening and it looks really nice. Okay, so you push that tail in. You're gonna take a long hairpin. Long hairpin. Come into the back here. And weave it. Weaving that to the base of the head. Let's do another. To the back. And weaving to the base of the head. See, I'm not letting this go until I'm not letting this go until I feel completely sure that this braid is to the base of the head. So we're gonna keep our hands there. Again, one more, just for good measure. See, I'm like gliding it to the back of the braid here, and then I'm weaving it. All right, now I know it's secure. So what happened here is that, so say this is the braid that's flat against, this is the head, right? We're taking a hairpin. Where's the hairpin? We're taking our hairpin. We're doing some of the braid on the head, some of the hair on the head, some braid, hair on the head, some braid, hair on the head, some braid, hair on the head, some braid. So now the braid and the hair on the head are stuck together so that the braid is sitting securely on her head, okay? So I'm gonna come around and make sure that we have no pins showing. Good. Now we can go ahead and tuck in the rest. So I can just push in the rest of this hair. I can push it forward so we can get some of this piecey action. I think I'll do that. And then again, hairpin to make sure that stays in place. And we're going to do one bobby pin for more towards the ends of it. You see I'm at the back of the hair, not the front. This is how you avoid seeing like a million hairpins and bobby pins, okay? All right, so you have like a pretty braid action happening. You get this like textury, messy, textury updo in like 10 minutes, and your client has like a beautiful, you know, updo happening. So you can like knock out those bridal clients. All right, does anyone have any questions about this braid? And see this side is loose, you can tuck it behind the ear. A mannequin doesn't have an ear, so but you get the idea. All right, so that's
Beautiful.
that.
Lots of positive feedback in the comments.
Thank you guys. Hey Tina Marie. Thank you. All right, so if you guys have any questions about this braid, let me know before I take it down. Love it. Thanks, Michelle. Thank you guys. All right, so thanks, Bionda. I think I said your name right. All right, we're gonna take this down. All right.
What have you been washing your mannequin with?
I wash her with, oh my God, nice cream.
Yes, that's what I hear is like the best.
I'm washing with nice cream because it like, when you wash a mannequin head, like the shampoo part, it gets so like tingly and seized up.
Yeah.
And weird. When you go in with the conditioner, it's fine. It's fine to brush through. But to skip all of that tingly, weird portion of the experience, I just use the nice cream. Wet the hair, plop the nice cream on there, glide your fingers through. It feels nice and soft and broken down. Kind of give like, some shampooing massage, rinse that off, and she's ready to go. So easy.
Awesome. Yeah, I've heard that from a couple different people.
So I'm glad that I'm able to like undo this in front of you guys, because I feel that's one of the main questions that people ask, like, oh yeah, that's cute, but it's probably a nightmare to take down. It totally isn't. It's literally just like running the fingers through the hair and it totally unravels. This is the Cobra braid for whoever just asked. Cobra. So I'm gonna come and I'm just gonna brush through.
Naima, Kelly just asked, if we practice on a mannequin head, do you think it's easier on human hair? Do you think it's easier on a mannequin or a human to do this?
Like human hair or like a human? An actual
human head. Oh no, like I think she's asking human hair on a mannequin head versus synthetic.
It doesn't matter. You mainly just really need the length. Perfect. I mean, if you're trying to get the wave in the front, of course you want to do the human hair, but if you're trying to practice any braiding, synthetic hair is perfect for that. I would say that it gets, that it's very silky often. So that can be an issue if you like have like trouble with dexterity. But otherwise, for the length, I find a lot of people love using synthetic hair mannequins because they're cheaper and you can get like a really long haired one for like not a lot of money, and you can do like really long hair braids. So there's that.
Okay, I think that's all the questions for this look.
So I'm gonna put her up and we're gonna do which braid should I show you guys? I wanted to show you a chain link braid, yes. So I'm gonna just brush her back. I'm gonna put her into a pony for this. Okay. Let's do a little silken up to break up that vandal powder that we had in the front. Okay, yes, so much easier. So much better. Oh my God. Silken up is like a lifesaver, seriously. Especially if you guys have clients that have like tangly hair, Silken up can save your life. And you don't want to put in like leave-in conditioner because then it's gonna make the hair look wet. Or you don't want to add a serum because it's gonna make it look too shiny. The Silken Up is perfect for detangling hair, like if you're already in the process of trying to style it. I'm just trying to make sure I get all the things out. Okay. Now we're gonna bring her back into just a pony. Mila, I'm gonna bring my daughter over. She's like dying to come over here. So before she has, come here. Oh, you know I'm on the phone. Come over here. Come this way. Say hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
All right, we're gonna brush through and bring it to that ponytail. Thank you. Nice and high. Nice and high. Nice and high. I love a good ponytail braid. It just looks so pulled together, but it's like the easiest thing to do. So I really love it. Brush through. All right, so if you're gonna do a ponytail braid, you wanna make sure that your pony itself is nice and secure. So when you're doing this on the client, thank you, when you're doing it on the client, the ponytail part, you wanna make sure that you ask them to tilt their head back a bit, and then you put the ponytail holder in, and when they pick their head up, it'll be like nice and smooth. I mean, you can't get that effect really on a mannequin head because she doesn't have any like skin on her neck, but you want to always make sure the neck is back while you're putting that ponytail holder in, so that when she picks it up, you don't have that like little stab, you don't have that lump in the back. It's like nice and clean. And we're gonna take ponytail holder. This is a bungee, or you can just use a ponytail holder, whatever works for you. And we're just gonna secure nice and tight. Nice and tight. Okay, so there's our pony. I'm going to take a small piece and wrap it around the base of my pony just to conceal this. The only time I don't conceal these is if I'm using like an accessory version of one, like a cute accessory that is a ponytail holder. Otherwise, if it's just like your standard ponytail holder or your standard bungee, you want to cover it so the look looks more professional. And also so that she can dress it up. Because if there's like elastic showing, it's hard to put on like a sexy dress or a gown because this looks very dressed down. So wrapping it is an easy way to just quickly dress it up. Okay, we're gonna just take this section here. I'm gonna spray a little bit of touchable hairspray on there, just so that it's not so soft and silky. Okay, just wrapping that around, just like easy wrap around. Wrap that around. And the very bottom, just using a bobby pin to secure that. So I'll just place the hair in the pin, wrap it around like once or twice, and then bring it to the very bottom back and just slide it in. Okay, so that's that for your pony. Now you can get started with your ponytail braid. All right, so we're doing the chain link braid. I'm gonna spin her around. Jamie, can you do a time check for me? I don't have a, let me clock out.
What did you just say?
Can you give me a time check? I'm gonna make sure I'm not.
Yeah,
late.
it's 2:30, so you have 30 minutes to finish this look and wrap up the class.
Yeah.
I guess we could save just a few minutes at the end for questions.
For sure. All right, so with our ponytail here for the chain link braid, we're gonna take our hands and we're gonna place it under and behind the hair. You're gonna push your fingers through just so you can get 4 sections. Now that you have these 4 sections, you wanna make sure that they are equal in density, okay? So this one feels super thick, this one not so much, this one feels thinner. I'm gonna go and I want to balance them out. So just like we did with the cobra braid, where we were figuring out the density, we're gonna do that here as well. Okay, so I'm just coming. And you wanna make sure when you're doing that, you wanna make sure that you have some hair from the bottom for each section that you're taking, because you have to remember that the top hair is gonna be shorter. So if you have, this is one piece, and then this is the other, they're like so different in length. You wanna make sure that you have a little bit of the back bottom in each and every section, okay? So mainly this is how I like to do it. Just put it in my hand, and just carry the hair over as needed, and just kind of feel through to see what needs what. This needs a little more. This feels good. That's good. Feels good. This feels a little thick, so I'm gonna swing this over. Feels good. Feels a little thin now. Okay, now we're ready. So we're ready to do our braid. So you're gonna look at your hand and you're gonna name the sections. This is the first, second, third, last. Okay? First section, second section, third section, last section. We're gonna bring these sections over to this hand, and we're gonna land them in order as we bring them. So the first one I bring, I'm gonna put it here. The second one, I'm gonna put it here. The other 2 are gonna go here. So first piece I bring over goes here. Second piece I bring over goes here. And then the other 2 go in the other 2 rows, okay? So I'm gonna bring over the first piece, which is second and last. So we're bringing over the second one and the last one. So second, remember I said it goes here, and then last. Remember I said it goes in the second slot. The other 2, flip and land. Okay, let's look at that again. Okay. Rewind and look at that again. Second and last. Second one goes here. Last one goes there. The other 2 flip and land them here. Okay. second piece, last piece, flip and land. You want to make sure that you do that flip. That flip is what's going to give that braid the twist that gives it that rope effect. So you want to make sure you do that flip. So again, second piece, last piece. Going to bring it. Second is going to come over here. Last is going to come over here. The other two are going to go there. Second piece, last piece. See? Flip and land. Okay? Second piece, last piece, flip and land. 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 Second, last, flip and land. Second, last, flip and land. Second, last, flip and land. I'll just go one more round. Second, last, flip and land. And at this point, I will just secure it. So I'll just bring it together and just secure it with a little tiny rubber band. When you do ponytail braids like this, you always want to make sure you give a little bend to the hair before you get started, just like that, just so that it's not like a stick straight piece of hair happening. So now when we let the hair go, we want to go in and we want to spread it apart. We're going to start at the top, push up, pushing up, pushing up. So just like what you were doing with the first braid, we're just literally kind of just rubbing it through our fingers to get that texture happening. Okay. Just pushing through. I mean, you can make it even like a lot bigger, but I'm not gonna go too crazy. But it's really up to you. You know, you can definitely make it a lot fluffier. And also, of course, it depends on the client's hair, how much hair they have. For this look, I would more say that it's best for clients that have like one length of hair. If you have too many layers, this like rope effect is not going to translate that well because it's going to cover like the dots in the rope. So it really won't translate. So I would say this is definitely for more that client with like the long one length hair or long layers where the layers happen like more low down here instead of high up here, okay? Push through. All right. And you can see, pop her up. You can see like the texture in the braid and how fluffy it gets. Super cute. All right. So that is your rope braid. so far, which one do you guys think is the easiest one out of the 3 that I've shown you so far? We did rope braid, cobra braid, and the loop braid, the rope braid. Cobra is the easiest, yeah? The first one? I guess it just depends, right? Everyone has a different answer. Rope? Yeah, I think the rope is the easiest.
Naima, do you call this the chain link braid?
Is this the chain link? No, I think this is the rope braid. Rope or chain link, I think
Is
it's the
it the
same
3D?
thing. No, this is not the 3D.
Okay, this is rope.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so there is that braid. I think we have time for one more like easy one, right, Jamie? You think?
Yeah, you should be good for one more.
Okay. Let me take that out.
Question from Danielle, is the rope braid hard to do on yourself?
No, I don't think so. It'll probably be hard to do on yourself if you're trying to do it from the back. But if you want to do like a side one, that shouldn't be hard. I think that's doable.
Cool,
From
thank
the
you.
back, that might be a challenge. All right. All right, so I'm gonna do our staircase braid, all right? So for the staircase braid, for like wearable, like a wearable ponytail for like when a client comes in, I like to keep it like chunkier pieces so that it's not too like edgy and too specific. I just like to do it as like a detail on the ponytail, where like I do like a few stitches of it where you see something cool that's happening, but it's not like a whole length of braid that is.
Now that have joined, we paid out $50,000 in commission in April, and right now it's taking up a little like 5.5%.
What's happening?
Of all the e-commerce
Hello?
sales being tied to an
Oh, sorry.
So,
Oh. I'm like, what's happening? So yes, so let's get started on the staircase braid. All right, so we have the hair down. All right, nice and clean. I'm gonna come in. I'm gonna grab a stitch of hair here, just a strand like this. Make it a little bit thicker. Okay, you're gonna take this ponytail itself here. We're gonna grab the back of our strand. So what's happening back here? You take the strand and you're kind of bringing the ends of it to the back, and you're gonna take it with your other hand. You're creating like a loop here that you can swing your thumb in through, so you can bring this through to create that loop, just like that. All right, let's look at that one more time. You have this section that's out here. You're gonna take it, bend it back, thumb in so that you can grab it, just like that, and pull your loop through. Okay, now we come and we add hair to it. We add a section of hair to that, just like that. Pull up nice and tight. Again, swing it to the back. Come with your thumb through and pull your loop through, just like that. One more time. Add. As you go down, that first piece is going to start getting smaller. So you're going to have to take a little bit more than you do like the previous time. So it's not like a lot of braids where you take the same size section every time. You have to take a little bit more every time because the first piece is getting smaller and smaller. Okay. Again, loop it through the back, thumb in, grab it, pull that loop through. I'm gonna do one more. Grab your section. So when I grab a piece to add to that first piece, what I'm trying to do is make sure that the density of it is similar to the density of the very first piece that we grabbed. That's what we're looking for when we add hair, like just making sure that it matches that first density. Okay, swing it to the back, swing it around to the front, loop it through. Okay, we're going to take this end here and we're going to wrap it around the base to finish off this braid. Remember, like I said, we just wanted it as an accent. See that? We just want it as an accent to her wavy pony. We don't want to braid the whole thing. Okay? And this is our staircase braid. We're taking that very tail end and we continue to wrap it around. And we're going to use our little rubber band to secure it. You don't want to secure this with your bobby pin. You want to go with the rubber band first. So make sure the end is to the back. Now you're going to go in and add your rubber band. One more time. Rubber band. And you're going to take that very back, the very loop that we last created, and you're going to make sure it just covers your band. You're just going to stick the rubber band under that last loop to conceal it. So now you don't really even know how the braid ended because the rubber band is hiding under the last loop there. Okay. Super easy, super cute, a nice way to just quickly jazz up a ponytail. All right, and make it just look a little bit more fun and fancy than just your standard average ponytail. You can do this technique with the cobra braid. You can start and maybe do a few stitches of cobra and secure there as well. You can do that with a lot of braids, or you can even do like half pony style. So bring the hair up in a half pony and just do a few stitches of your favorite braid and let the rest of the hair hang down, just to kind of make it look a little bit more special and not just like your standard half up, half down, or your standard ponytail, right? Your clients come to the salon for that special professional treatment and that professional technique. So you want to just, you know, kind of take it to the next level for them. I'm going to show you how we take this braid down. This one is the staircase braid. We're taking this down. I'm coming under. Excuse my daughter's noises. We're taking our rubber band out. It's so easy to come out. So I don't know, funny enough, this is like one of the main things people ask, like how would a braid like this come out? Braids are so easy to come undone because they're repetitive. You're doing the same action over and over again. So it's not like a knot and then like a different knot. You're doing the same action over and over again. So it's so easy to just undo, 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 undo. Super easy.
Naima, Danielle was asking if you could use the Vandal volume powder at the end to fluff up the ponytail.
Absolutely, that would definitely be super cute. So you can like have the braid there and like the Vandal make your braid like nice and fluffy. You can even do the braid like higher, so you could see you can do the ponytail higher so you can see the braid from the top, and then like have like the ponytail itself like nice and fluffy at the top. All right.
Awesome. So while Naima's wrapping up, if there's any questions, feel free to send those in. We'd love to know if anyone followed along on their mannequin, what went
You had
well.
questions for me.
Questions